Thank you, Mr. President. Will the gentle lady yield to some questions, Mr. President?
Yes, gladly, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, at the outset, I wish to place on record that this representation is fully supportive of this measure, so much so that I am one of the co-authors of this bill. Moreover, this representation was also a co-sponsor of the proposed Magna Carta of Barangay Health Workers during the 19th Congress. And furthermore, this representation, as early as my first term as a senator during the 13th Congress in 2004, filed a bill which institutionalizes the provision of at least one health worker for every barangay throughout the country, and the provision of enhanced set of benefits for them. Dala ng aking mahabang karanasan bilang mayor, ang dakila at makasaysayang bayan ng San Juan, batid natin ang kahalagaan ng bawat barangay health workers sa lubos at ganap na pagpapatupad ng mga national health programs sa grassroots level. And we recognize and sincerely appreciate their important role in promoting the basic and constitutional right to quality health care of every Filipino. I only have 2 points of inquiry for the good sponsor, Senator Risa, as I also wish to seek the thoughts and guidance of the members of this chamber on a related measure that is referred to the Committee on Local Government, which I chair. Mr. President, this bill was named as one of the priority measures of the LEDAC during the 19th Congress, but it was not enacted into law. Am I right? Am I correct, Mr. President?
The good gentleman is right, Mr. President.
And sa aking pagkaalala ay naipasa na po ito dito bilang third reading noong 19th Congress. Am I right?
Yes, Mr. President, the good gentleman is also right.
And interestingly, the House of Representatives adopted the Senate version, Senate Bill number 2838, as amendment to House Bill number 6557 on February 5 of 2025. But on June 4, 2020, on the same year, the Senate received a letter from the House of Representatives dated June 3, 2025, informing us that the House reconsidered the adoption and consequently approved to rescind the transmittal of House Bill number 6557. May I know what happened, Mr. President?
Unfortunately, Mr. President, as doesn't often happen in our legislative work, hanggang ngayon po, hindi pa 100% na ipaliwanag sa atin, sa Senado, kung ano ang nangyari. Ang una pong nakarating sa atin na paliwanag or bahagyang paliwanag ay nagkaroon daw ng hindi pagsuporta sa usaping pinansyal kaugnay ng Magna Carta of Barangay Health Workers. But as I said at the outset, Mr. President, hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin natin ma-establish 100% kung yun ang naging problema at such a late stage in the legislative process. Gayunpaman, dahil tayo po ay nag-refile ng bill na ito sa kasalukuyang Kongreso, minabuti na rin po natin na dito mismo sa committee report ay subukang tugunan yung mga usaping pangpinansyal sa pagpopondo ng Magna Carta of Barangay Health Workers kung sakali man yun talaga ang naging problema. And overall, I am confident, Mr. President, that this is a worthy successor sa naipasa po natin sa 19th Congress.
Magkano ba ho dapat ang gugulin ng gobyerno dito sa Magna Carta for Barangay Health Workers?
I'm sorry, Mr. President.
Magkano ba dapat ang gugulin ng gobyerno, pondo ng gobyerno para rito sa Magna Carta for
Again, Mr. President, kung naalala ko ng tama, nung panahon ng 19th Congress deliberation sa bill na to, umabot sa mga 3 bilyong piso para na po sa lahat ng mga barangay health workers sa Pilipinas, para sa lahat po ng mga karapatan at benepisyo na pagkakaloob sa kanila. Again, kaya po medyo binigyan natin ng credence yung bahagyang paliwanag na financial yung naging problema or isang problema sa huli, dahil meron pong iba pang figures na lumabas na parang times 10 sa halagang iyon. So again, in any case, sinubukan nating i-establish more or less magkano ang kakailanganin sa 20th Congress.
So yun ba ho ang dahilan kung bakit nireconsider yung adoption ng ating Senate version?
So far,
Is
Mr.
it the,
President, yun lamang po what we can go on.
Is it the budget of 3 billion pesos?
Or hindi po yung budget lamang ng 3 billion na ating pong pinanghawakan dito sa Senado, pero yung sinabi in other quarters na na aabot di umano ng 23 billion pesos.
Billion.
Opo. So, halos 8 to 9 times, o halos 8 times po, Mr. President.
So, meron ba ho kayo nalalaman kung sino-sino itong mga tumututol dito?
Hindi na po idinetalye sa
Baka meron kayo alam, isiwalat na
It
natin.
is part of the mystery, Mr. President, unfortunately.
Kasi because here I have a copy of a letter coming from the Secretary General addressed to the former Senate President, Senator Escudero, that says, I have been directed to inform the Senate and the House of Rep on even date reconsider the adoption of Senate Bill 2838 as an amendment to House Bill number 6557 without any reason, without stating any reason whatsoever with regard to the reconsideration of the adoption of Senate Bill number 2838. So right now we are in a quandary on why they reconsidered the adoption of our Senate bill.
Which
So
is
wala
why
po talagang totoong dahilan kung bakit
wala pang ibang opisyal at formal na communicate sa Senado, Mr. President, bukod sa liham na yon na gaya ng sinabi ng good gentleman, wala namang sinabing paliwanag o ground sa pag-reconsider. So, the best we could do ngayong 20th Congress ay i-refile talaga at dalin muli dito sa plenaryo para sa konsiderasyon ng mga kasama.
Yes, I mentioned earlier that this was part of the LEDAC during the 19th Congress. But right now, as we speak in the 20th Congress, this is not already part of the LEDAC. It is no longer included in the priority measures of the LEDAC. Am I correct, Mr.
The
President?
gentleman is correct, Mr. President, but still, pwede po nating i-argue yung importansya ng panukalang ito bilang bahagi ng pag-operationalize nung grassroots level ng buong universal healthcare law, Mr. President.
Maybe you might know the reason why this bill, which for me is a very important bill, why it was excluded from the priority bills in this 20th Congress, Mr. President.
Okay. Mr. President, I wouldn't say na in-exclude ang Magna Carta of BHW sa listahan ng LEDAC ng priority legislative measures dahil di tulad nung 19 Congress, hindi siya yung nandun na, nasa bingit na ng pagiging batas tapos ibinawi. Pero simpleng hindi na isama. And gayon pa man, Mr. President, though of course mahalagang gabay din sa atin sa legislative executive coordination ang listahan ng LEDAC. Gayunpaman ay dahil mahalaga po sa atin sa Senado at mayroon din pong counterparts tayo sa House, kaya nga po, excited pa rin tayo na dalhin ito sa plenaryo.
Pwede ba malaman yung estado ng bill nito sa House? What is the status of this particular bill in the House of Representatives?
Sa House of Representatives, Mr. President, ang status po niya ay for hearing sa Committee on Local Governments.
Committee on Local Government. Saan ba ho na-refer to sa committee ninyo?
Yes,
Committee
Mr. President,
on
Committee
Health?
on Health and Demography.
Okay. This representation as chairman of the Committee on Local Government is currently in the thick of discussions and coordination with various stakeholders about the Magna Carta naman for barangays, a LEDAC priority measure for the 20th Congress. And for the information of the good sponsor in this August chamber, the Magna Carta for Barangays, which is authored by a number of our dear colleagues, proposes, among others, better compensation, incentives, and benefits for our barangay officials, including the Punong Barangay, Sangguniang Barangay, Barangay Secretary, and Barangay Treasurer. Various measures filed by our esteemed colleagues also propose enhanced set of benefits for other barangay workers, including barangay tanod, lupong tagapamayapa, daycare workers, and barangay health workers. And at this point, Mr. President, let me reiterate that I am not against this bill. In fact, I am supporting the passage of this measure. I am just pointing out the possible scenario that this bill, which covers and is exclusively for the barangay health workers, will have different provisions from the Magna Carta for barangays, which shall or might cover the entire spectrum of barangay officials, personnel, and workers. Mr. President, how should we go about these two equally important measures?
Salamat, Mr. President, for pointing that out. Siyempre, ayaw ko rin pong umabot sa sitwasyon na magkakaiba ang
Baka
parallel
magkaroon ng
provisions.
overlapping.
Or magkaroon
Yun lang
ng
po ang aking,
overlapping.
concern, yes.
And in order to enhance rather na ang bill na ito at ang bill na pinamumunuan ng good gentleman ay maging companion measures, complementary sa isa't isa, I'm very glad to coordinate with the good gentleman na yung mga probisyon sa Magna Carta of Barangay Health Workers ay hindi kontra or hindi nag-overlap in an unconstructive way, kundi yun na nga po, complementary sa lalabas dun sa Magna Carta of Barangays, Mr. President.
Mr. President, if we pursue these bills separately, do we foresee a Magna Carta, for example, for Barangay Tanod, Magna Carta for punong barangays, and other similar Magna Carta for every single cluster of barangay worker in the future? What do you think, Mr. President?
Wala pa naman po, Mr. President, lumapit na barangay tanod or iba na gustong magkaroon din ng Magna Carta. Bukod po sa barangay nutrition scholars. Nagsisimula na po silang magtanong sa iba't ibang lalawigan natin na hindi ba kami magkakaroon din ng Magna Carta tulad ng mga barangay health workers. In which case po, Mr. President, kung mag-progress man yung ganyang klaseng legislative process, pwede pa rin i-adopt yung iniisip ko pong disposisyon nitong Magna Carta of Barangay Health Workers kaugnay ng Magna Carta of Barangays na kung ituturing kumbaga ang Magna Carta of Barangay bilang pinaka Magna Carta sa mga Magna Carta at pwedeng yung bawat sektor doon, halimbawa barangay health workers, ay maging complementary ang mga provision sa parallel provisions sa Magna Carta of Barangays, ay pwedeng ganon din po yung isang guiding principle sa pag-consider kung sakali mang umabot sa ganon ng isang Magna Carta of Barangay Nutrition Scholars or iba pang volunteers o empleyado sa barangay, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, under Section 14 naman of the committee report on monetary incentives and benefits of volunteer barangay health workers states that there will be a monthly monetary benefit of not less than 3,000 to be granted by the municipality or city where they serve in the form of an honorarium, along with other allowances such as transportation allowance, subsistence allowance, hazard allowance, cash gift, and loyalty incentive. How much would be the total monthly benefit for our BHWs?
Okay.
For that important people lang.
Right.
All others banner.
Yes po. Yes, Mr. President, I'm prepared to address the question of the good gentleman, but Senator JV, our previous sponsor and
Yes,
author,
Mr.
would like
President,
to
with
interject.
the indulgence of Senator Estrada and
Yes.
Ontiveros, because I was the one who sponsored this during the last Congress, barangay health workers from the third and fifth class municipalities will be receiving about 3,000 pesos minimum monthly honorarium. Because the rationale is the BSWs from the cities and the first and second class municipalities are given allowances so that are said to be at least yung medyo maganda naman, no? Some are receiving 8,000, 11,000 and so on. So ang kawawa po talaga are those in the third and fifth class municipalities who receive sometimes even at 400 pesos per month, no, as honorarium. as low as 400, 200 pesos a month. So with this bill, with this measure, if it had been passed, those from the third to fifth class municipalities, barangay health workers will now receive a minimum of 3,000 pesos monthly honorarium. Thank you.
May I know how much are the barangay health workers from the first and second class municipalities receiving?
From, Mr. President, the first down to the fifth class
No,
municipality.
only the first and second. Since Senator
First
JV
and
has already
second.
answered the third, fourth, and fifth
Opo, above
municipalities.
3,000 pesos, sometimes
Yes,
reaching 10,000
Yes.
pesos, Mr. President.
From what I know, even in Pasig, no, I think they're the ones that the BHWs are receiving about 11,000 honorarium per month. In Metro Manila, some are 8,000 up to 6,000 to 8,000.
So who shoulders that? The local government?
LGUs, yes,
The LGUs.
local government.
Okay. During the committee deliberations of on the Magna Carta for barangays, we were informed that some punong barangays or the barangay captains, especially in some municipalities in the Samar area, receives only 3,000 pesos per month. Hence, there would be an awkward situation wherein the barangay health worker and the barangay captains could have the same monthly compensation. May I know your thoughts on that, Mr. President?
Unfortunately, Mr. President, yung ganyang klaseng unfortunate din na situation ay hindi po maiwawas to nitong panukala natin. But we are making a very important correction dun sa pagpapatupad ng ating mga local government units, dun sa parte ng tungkulin nila sa implementation ng universal healthcare. Ibig sabihin po, at least, gaya ng pinoint out ni Senator JV at pinamunuan niya nung nakaraang kongreso, we will establish a floor para doon sa mga barangay health workers na sa ngayon po, Mr. President, ang lawak ng range ng natatanggap nila from 10,000 or 11,000 sa first-class municipalities, halimbawa sa Mandaluyong, down to as little as 200 pesos, Mr. President, sa third, fourth at lalo na fifth class municipalities. So ngayon, ang gustong gawin ulit ng Magna Carta for barangay health workers ay at least mag-establish po ng floor na 3,000 pesos for every barangay health worker sa buong bansa, Mr.
Well,
President.
based on our discussion together with Senator Ejercito, yung first and second class municipalities ang nagbabayad ng kanilang allowance, LGUs. Am I correct? Is that my understanding?
That is correct, Mr. President.
So in third, fourth, and fifth class municipalities, ang magbabayad niya national government. Because some of the third and fourth and fifth class municipalities cannot afford to give honorariums, allowances to their barangay health workers. Am I
Opo,
correct?
Mr. President, kung ano po yung balanse ng 3,000 piso na hindi po kayang bayaran ng LGU, ay pupunuin po
Bubunuin ng national
ng
government.
national.
So
That's
dito
right,
sa
Mr.
Metro Manila, I'm sure lahat naman ng mga bayan dito, mga syudad dito sa Metro Manila, kayang bayaran ang kanilang kaya ibigay yung kanilang mga allowances, mga honorarium sa kanilang mga barangay health workers. Kasi maraming pera yung mga LGUs ng Metro Manila.
Kaya po yan, Mr. President. At least yung 3,000 pesos, kaya po ng lahat ng LGUs dito sa Metro Manila.
And I heard yung mga ibang cities, mas malaki pa yung binibigay, more than 3,000 pa yung binibigay.
Yes, Mr. President. Maabot sa 10,000 pesos or 11,000
Is it
pesos.
uniform dito sa Metro Manila?
Iba pa, nagbayad pa nga ng permanent.
For example, the City of Manila, Quezon City, Pasay, pare-pareho bang binibigay nilang...
Iba-iba rin po, Mr.
iba-iba.
President, batay sa income ng LGU, batay din sa pagpapahalaga ng local government units sa implementasyon
Meron ba
ng
ho kayong
universal
datos kung
healthcare.
magkano halimbawa binibigay ng City of Manila sa kanilang mga barangay health workers?
I will
So we can compare,
provide that to the good gentleman. As soon as possible.
Gusto ko lang
Mr.
kasi
President.
malaman kasi yung sa San Juan, sa Mandaluyong, hindi ko alam kung baka alam ni Senator JV kung magkano binibigay ng local government
alam,
ng
Mr.
San Juan sa
President,
mga
ni
sa
Senator
mga
JV.
barangay health workers natin sa San Juan. Well, he might know kung if it's sufficient enough.
Yes, Mr. President, again, as far as I can remember, because some of the BHWs from San Juan were also here during our deliberations, and I was surprised to know that in Metro Manila, although it's not like the other third or fifth class, pero isa po yung San Juan sa pinakamababa, no? But at least,
Mababa yung bigay sa San Juan?
mababa daw, sabi nila, no? So, but hopefully it will be improved.
Right now, mababa ang
Right
bigay.
now.
So during your time, mas mataas ang bigay mo?
I think that time mas mataas.
Okay. So mas mababa
now-
yung bigay ng mayor ngayon?
Mas mababa ngayon. So hopefully this time, the rationale here is that, if I may join, the national government will subsidize no pa yung mga third and fifth class, those who cannot afford to give more. But as what the sponsor is saying, Senator Tiberos, that in Metro Manila, at least 3,000 to 5,000 kaya ho ng lahat ng LGUs dito eh. No? So there's no problem. Even the first and second class municipalities, really the third to fifth class that cannot really afford. Ang nakakaawa po talaga doon, meron 400, meron pang 300 no a month, no. So that's what we want to address, Mr. President. Thank you.
At
Thank you.
bukod sa pagkakaiba-iba ng compensation across LGUs, particular dito sa Metro Manila lamang, iba-iba rin yung employment status ng mga barangay health workers. Halimbawa, Mr. President, sa Pasig, wala na po silang volunteer na barangay health workers. Lahat po plantilla na, empleyado. And meron din sa Taguig. Oo. Sa Taguig, meron din po silang programang progression ng pag-improve ng employment status ng kanilang mga barangay health workers over time, Mr. President.
Diyan mo makikita na magaling ang kanilang mga punong bayan. At
Ganon,
punong-
Mr. President.
punong lungsod. Anyway, Mr. President, there is also a Magna Carta for Public Health Workers or Republic Act number 7305. How different will this new Magna Carta of Barangay Health Workers from the Magna Carta for Public Health Workers?
Okay.
And for the record, if I may,
Yes,
why
Mr.
is
President.
there a need to create a separate Magna Carta for BHWs and carve a distinct niche from the sphere of public health workers, Mr. President?
Partly dahil din po sa kasaysayan, Mr. President, or yung origins ng bawat grupo ng mga health service providers. Kung yung pong mga covered ng Magna Carta of Public Health Workers ay mga professional, medical professionals, at kapag nasa public health sector natin, ay nakakatanggap din ng iba pang mga benefits at saka karapatan bilang working people tulad halimbawa ng overtime pay, etc. Subject pa nga dun sa mga salary grade no, sa ating gobyerno. Ang mga barangay health workers, historically po, excuse me, Mr. President, nagsimulang mga volunteers. So, ngayon po ay effort natin na bagamat hindi sila lahat or karamihan nagsimula bilang health professionals, pero sa tagal ng serbisyo nila, sa halaga na ibinibigay nila sa kanilang mga kabarangay, lalo na sa pagpapatupad ng universal healthcare, gusto natin silang mabigyan ng bahagyang pag-professionalize at pagkilala ng ganong parang status na nais nating ibigay sa kanila sa pamamagitan nitong ilang dagdag pa na benepisyo sa Magna Carta of Barangay Health Workers, Mr.
Kasi
President.
based on our discussions during the Magna Carta for barangays, we also learned that there are health workers employed by the barangay who are called barangay health aides. No? And under the committee report sponsored by the distinguished Deputy Majority Leader, ang mga barangay health aid ba ay masasakop dito sa panukalang batas nito?
Yeah, exactly. Mr. President, yung barangay health aides ay nag-occupy po ng plantilla positions at kaya siguro isang magandang best practices o example o
So mas
modelo
mataas
niyan
ang
ay
barangay
sa
aid,
Pasig.
barangay health aid kaysa sa barangay health worker?
Mas ano po, Mr. President?
Mas mataas
Yes,
sa
in
plantilla?
effect, mas mataas po dahil may status po sila na empleyado. Nag-ookupa po sila ng mga plantilla positions.
Can you please differentiate the function between the barangay health worker and the barangay health aid?
That's an important question, Mr. President, dahil kung titignan po natin ang mga trabaho ng barangay health aid at yung matagal na rin ginagawa ng mga barangay health workers, pareho, Mr. President. So, nagkakaiba lamang sa provenance or origin ng pag-empleyo or pag-volunteer nila sa local government units at ang inabot na employment status nung isa at itong isinusulong pa natin na makaabot na kung hindi man plantilla status, at least measure ng continuity of service, no, at measure ng mga benepisyo bilang barangay health workers, Mr.
Kung
President.
pareho lang talaga ang function nila, bakit hindi natin iplantilla na lang lahat ng mga barangay health workers? Bakit barangay health aides lang? Kung pareho lang po ang kanilang
Ideally,
trabaho.
siguro, Mr. President, yan yung isang gusto nating marating na sitwasyon, maybe in the medium or even short term. Kaya lang, kung ngayon na Mr. President, na matagal nang nagsisilbi ang ating mga barangay health workers at naudlot pa yung inaasahan nila nung nakaraang 19th Congress, sa ngayon po hindi pa kakayanin funds-wise, Mr. President. So, dun sa tanong ng good gentleman, maaari nating tignan na kapag maipasa natin itong Magna Carta of Barangay Health Workers, isa na po siyang konkretong tagumpay kasama ng ating mga barangay health workers. At malay natin, habang mas naitatag yung universal healthcare system natin at mas yumayaman yung ating ekonomiya, pwedeng kalaunan naging hakbang pala ito para tumungo dun sa sitwasyon na tinanong ng good gentleman,
So your
Mr.
answer
President.
to my question, Mr. President, is that they will not, itong mga barangay health aides, will not receive any allowance from the government.
Ang barangay health aides, Mr.
Yes.
President, or barangay health workers?
The barangay health aid, hindi kasama sa panukalang batas nyo. Hindi po kasama.
Hindi
They are
po
not,
kasama sa
they are not
batas.
included. Itong
Opo,
barang-
Mr.
I'm talking about the
President.
barangay health aids,
Opo,
Mr. President.
yung barangay health aides po ay patuloy na makatatanggap ng sweldo nila at anumang mga
Yes.
benepisyo sa local government.
Pero hindi po
units,
kasama
Mr.
sa inyong
President.
panukalang batas.
Opo, hindi po kasama dito sa panukalan.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, with regard to the funding, no, can you please confirm, Mr. President, the 3,000 pesos minimum honorarium is exempt from the 45% personal services cap during the first year?
Yes, Mr. President,
This
just
is
during the
accepted.
first year of implementation.
Okay, what happens
of
after
law,
the first year, Mr.
President?
President?
Opo. So after the first year, Mr. President, bahagi na po ng regular budget. Subject na po sa mga applicable caps, kasama na po dito sa
Are
45%
the
sa personal
other
services.
LGUs fiscally prepared to permanently absorb this obligation, Mr. President?
Okay.
Because some of the LGUs might not be fiscally prepared to absorb this obligation. What will happen after the first year? Kawawa naman yung mga BHWs natin after the first year.
Sa ngayon, Mr. President, senaryo kasi po ng Barangay Local Government Fund o BLGF na dahil daw taon-taon tumataas daw yung IRA, tumataas daw yung NTA
Are we
ng
going
ating
to
mga
rely
local
on it,
government
Mr.
units,
President?
kakayanin na po after the first year. But at the proper time, Mr. President, magiging bukas po ako sa panukalang amyenda na maaaring ihain ng good gentleman kung i-extend po yung period na hindi muna isa-subject dun sa 45%.
Siyempre, ako po
personal
naging
services cap.
punong bayan din San Juan. Siyempre, meron akong mga ibang mga prioridad na proyekto sa aming bayan. Paano yung ibang mga mayors kung ayaw talaga bigyan ng allowance itong ating mga BHWs? What will happen?
Dahil din po, Mr. President, sa ganong variable, yung understandably changing priorities ng local government units taon-taon. So, dagdag na dahilan, magiging bukas ako kung magpapanukala ang good gentleman na i-extend po ang period na exempted sa 45% cap on personal
Kasi
services.
mahirap kasi rito, halimbawa, si Senator JV naging mayor. Halimbawa ako naging mayor. Binibigay ko lahat yung kanilang allowances, yung allowances ng BHW. Tapos siya nag-succeed sa akin bilang mayor. Tapos naisipan niya hindi magbigay. O paano, kawawa naman yung mga ano, di ba? Kasi kada palit ng, I'm not saying this na hindi niya ginawa, no? Kasi ibang LGUs, pag nagpalit ng mga leadership, iba-iba yung hindi tinutuloy ng mga proyekto ng kanilang mga predecessor. What will happen?
Kaya po, Mr. President, gusto nating sa wakas, kasunod ng 19th Congress, maisabatas ito, kaya para magkaroon ng measure ng hindi lang continuity of service, pero by law, yung mga compensation at benepisyo para sa ating mga barangay health workers. In order to take into account yung actual budgetary capacity ng mga LGU lampas sa unang taon or yung maaring changing priorities ng local government units. Kaya nga po, bukas po ako na i-extend po natin yung period of exemption dun po sa 45% cap on personal services, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last question na lang po, Mr. President, if I may. How do we delineate the functions of the barangay health workers from the midwives, nurses, and other public health workers to avoid duplication of duties and jurisdictional conflict?
I-clarify mo na Luis, anong level na pwede gawin dito.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Mahalagang gabay, Mr. President, ay magmumula sa Department of Health. I-delineate nila alin pong mga health or medical services ay reserved talaga dun sa mga health professionals na nasa hanay nila. Nurse man, doktor, lalo na at iba pa. At alin, at marami-rami po ito, Mr. President, ay mahalagang patuloy na isasagawa ng mga barangay health workers, lalo na pa dun sa grassroots level ng implementasyon ng universal healthcare, Mr. President.
Thank you for that, Mr. President. Kasi ang naging problema kasi namin during the course of our hearings sa barangay health, Magna Carta on barangays, hindi po namin mahanapan ng pondo, no? Kahit po tumaas ang kanilang IRA o yung NTA na kanilang tinatawag, marami pa rin mga LGUs na hindi mapaglalaan ng pondo para sa mas maayos na compensation para sa ating mga barangay officials like yung ating mga barangay captains, mga kagawads. Yun lang talagang bottom line, funding talaga ang problema. But anyway, Mr. President, again, let me emphasize that I am fully supportive of this measure. And I sincerely recognize and commend the diligence, hard work, passion, and the heart that the good sponsor has poured onto this measure, and in every measure, every happy bill that she sponsors here on the floor. And as your chairperson of the Committee on Local Government, who bears the tasks of studying and deliberating a related and similar bill to the one that is being sponsored right now, we only want to be fully aware and enlightened as to the policy direction that this august body wishes to take. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the good
Thank you.
sponsor for the gracious time and the opportunity to propound questions that she accorded this humble representation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.